Hello, Brian Percival here, pleased to meet you. Now, if you've already seen one of these intros, they're all the same. Just go to the timestamp here to get to the content. You'll need to watch this once. All I'm doing briefly is just explaining what's going on. Now, I stopped doing videos about 2 or 3 years ago. Because a lot of stuff was going on and I basically just didn't have time. It was as simple as that. So what I've done is now that I'm going back to it, I'm consolidating everything onto one channel. So there's going to be one place for all the content I do. It's not going to be spread around everywhere anymore. So as anyone who's seen my stuff before knows that I love a jump cut. I love nothing better than a jump cut, basically because I can't be bothered editing properly. Especially when it's just the stuff like this. So I've decided that I'm just going to put everything under my own name now. Like, nothing's going to be by aliases or anything like that. And mostly I've got fed up with the Pickled Onion Night channel because, well, why go under an alias? It's like people that have still got like a name they invented when they were at school, like Peter 512 or something like that. Get over it. Just go and buy my own name. But mostly it's because when I started the Pickled Onion Night channel, I thought it was a really clever and cool Final Fantasy reference, and it turns out that everyone now thinks it's a Game of Thrones reference. So that's annoyed me. So that's why that's going. So yeah, everything's basically just going to be moved across to the one stream. So everything I do is going to be in the one place. So if you like my stuff, this is the place to come. If you don't like my stuff, go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. With that in mind, I'm recording this little intro to go over the top, to be edited into the older stuff that I've done. Some of it has to be redone. That's just the way it is. Stuff moves forward in a couple of years, and some of the things aren't how they used to be. But some of it is perfectly fine to re-upload here. So I'm just putting this bit in at the beginning so that it looks completely seamless. So what I'll do is, unfortunately, a lot of the older stuff is watermarked. So what I'll do is I'll put a little black bar that's going to rise up here now, and that'll just cover up the watermarks so that nobody gets directed to any of the old stuff anymore. And look forward to the content you haven't seen. A lot of it is older stuff. Like I say, there's new stuff coming. I'm editing loads of stuff at the moment. So yeah, look forward to see you in the future. So yeah, let's start with, as I've just spoken about the PlayStation 3 reviews, let's start with my PlayStation 3 games that I've bought. Some of these are specifically bought to be reviewed, and some are bought because they've been on my wish list for a while, and it seems to fit in with what I'm trying to do elsewhere. So I'm going to leave this one till last. So Godfather Don's Edition is the first one. Now, I will again try and give you the costs of what I paid for these. £6.25 I paid for that. And this one, apparently, it says includes Corleone expansion pack, and apparently that's on disc. You don't have to go and download it. So that's brilliant. I love that. I love on disc content. That's great for me. And again, proper manual, proper disc. The disc could be in better condition, but as I've said before, it doesn't matter. Blu-rays, you can't kill a Blu-ray. They last forever. So yeah, Godfather Don's Edition. Now, I do have the PlayStation 2 version, and I'll be honest with you, I found it quite dull. So I'm hoping they've done something to the gameplay in this version. Otherwise, I'm going to have another disappointing review on my hands, I dare say. But never know. World Snooker Championship 2007. This is a game by Sega, and in fact this is in the worst condition. This case is utterly wrecked.
I am going to have to do a video on some point on how to clean these things, but I haven't quite got round to it with this one yet. So yeah, there's a really thick, nice manual in there. I imagine it's multi-language. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, it's multi-language, that's why it's so thick. And the disc is really manky as well. So yeah, but again, this is another one that was bought for the purposes of review. I don't mind a game of snooker. In fact, I'm reasonably good at it, but I don't fancy playing it on a console. But there you are. This is for the purposes of review. And another one bought for the purposes of review. Another Sega game, actually. The Sonic the Hedgehog, PlayStation 3. Now, oh, sorry, I meant to say, how much was snooker? I've got it written down somewhere. $2.75 that, so, you know, it's in shit condition. It's probably not even worth that. Yeah, so, where did I get to? Sonic the Hedgehog. £10.25 this cost me. Because it's reasonably difficult to get. And, in fact, that was £10.25 with no manual. So I don't know if, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come with a manual, being an early PlayStation release. They hadn't done away with manuals by that point. So who knows? But yeah, Sega game, Sonic the Hedgehog for the PlayStation 3. Now, again, this is another one that I bought for the purposes of review. Otherwise, there is no way I would have spent £10.25 on this game. But, you know, I can, as it does seem to be becoming a bit of a rarity, I can probably sell this on, although obviously for not loads because it's got the manual missing. So maybe I will invest in a manual and just keep it for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do. Which one is it? £3.25 for this one, SingStar Queen. I really like Queen. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I think they're fantastic in what they do. But I seem to have bought this as I've obviously confused this with a different game because I'm obviously doing the. I haven't bought this to review, by the way. But I did think it was lower down in the food chain than it is. I mean, this is BCES 00494. So, but I thought it was much lower than that. I've obviously confused it with another SingStar version, which I don't have. Now, I'm not going to review the SingStar games, obviously, as I've said. So I haven't actually bought this to review. But I thought, well, as I'm buying them more or less in release order anyway, I may as well get the ones I'm missing, even if I'm not going to review them. So, like, I'm not going to review Tiger Woods 10 because I reviewed Tiger Woods 9. So, but I may as well get Tiger Woods 10 because then I haven't got something missing. And it just. You know, in my head, it just makes life easier, even if it does make it a bit more costly. But there you are, all your favourite Queen songs, nice little manual. The trouble is, actually, this disc is in really good nick, but you tend to find people tend to play these games at parties. The discs end up on the floor, they end up scratched, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, a lot of SingStars you'll find the discs are not in the best nick. But these ones tend to be fine. Or that one seems to be fine. SingStar Pop Edition, which I've bought, and this is just pop songs. And this is another one. I mean, I picked this one up because it was cheap. And how much did I pay for that? £3.70. Actually, that wasn't cheap. £3.75. So I don't know with that one. This is another one to fill up a gap in the collection, no doubt. I'm sure when I bought it, I had a good reason for it. But there you are, SingStar Pop Edition. This looks like another musical game, Def Jam Icon. This is another one bought to review. I don't know who Def Jam is, but you become a hip hop mogul. So there you are. I'm sure it's guns and bouteilles and all sorts of things that I have no idea about. But yeah, let's have a look. Not too bad a disc. Nice little manual of presumably this fella here is Def Jam, or Icon maybe his name is, I don't know. I don't know who anyone is. And that was $2.25. So that was cheaper than SingStar Pop Edition. Fear, a game by Sierra, which isn't the Sierra of really good PC games fame. It's just a badge now, unfortunately. So this was... I've lost it. Where is it? I can't see how much this was. Oh no, it's right at the top there. £2.50 this was, Fear. And it looks like a shooter game, but again, this is one that's been bought to review. So let's have a look at the disc. Could be in better nick. And again, this is early release, so you get a manual. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Did I say how much that was? Yes, £2.50 that was, so quite pleased with that. Only bought it to review though. Now, another one I had to... well, I didn't have to buy it to review. I didn't have to do anything at all, but I am going to review it, and that was Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion. But when I was in the shop, it was £2.90. Well, what was it? It was £3 or so for the standard edition. But they also had the Game of the Year edition. So I thought, well, for the 50 pence more, I'll obviously buy the Game of the Year edition. Now, a lot of people don't think these look good on the shelves, and yeah, okay, when you have a full set of nice clear boxes and then you have this big grey thing here, no, perhaps it doesn't look very good on the shelf, but you get so much more content for your money for the re-release games usually. I think, so this has... It's just got loads of stuff. Includes the original award-winning game, plus Knights of Nine and Remarkable Shivering Isles expansion. And that's all on disc. You don't have to go and download this. It's all on the disc for you. So brilliant. So, yeah, while it might not look brilliant on your shelf, long term, it will be better for the console, really, won't it? Because you'll have more content, and I'd rather pay a little bit more for loads more content than have something that looked nice on a shelf, to be perfectly honest with you. So that's why I'm looking at the two side by side, and I thought, bollocks to it, I'm going to get the Platinum version, because if I do like it and I do want to play it again, I want to play all the expansions without having to buy them. So there you are. And then one which not only have I bought to review, but has also been on my wish list for a very, very, very long time, and I'm sure a lot of other people's wish lists for a very long time. Now, this cost me $15.25 because this is another one that is getting a bit rare, and that is Folklore. Now, this is a sort of action RPG where you play as two different characters, and yeah, like I say, it has been on my wish list for a very long time. Nice manual there as well, and I've finally got hold of it, so I will play it to review it, but I'm obviously looking forward to that one because I think it's going to be pretty good. I've never actually played it before. I've seen it, I've never played it, and I thought, when I seen it, I thought that is one I want to play, so I had to buy it. So yeah, that's the end of the PlayStation 3 stuff. Right, now, I've got one piece of hardware that I've bought, and I've only bought it because it's on deal, and it's new. And let me just go into the reason behind it. I'll tell you what it is first. It's a PowerA Xbox style controller, a wired controller for Xbox One and Windows. Now, I don't have an Xbox One. But I did a video a little while ago where I was playing Final Fantasy XII, the PlayStation 2 version, the Zodiac Job version, on an emulator on my PC. And the pad I was using was my Wii U Pro controller. But I'm getting sick of using that controller, not because it doesn't keep charge very well, because it holds quite a lot of charge. But because I have to use this third-party app to get it running on Windows 10, for some reason, when it does lose charge and I then have to charge it up, it charges absolutely fine off the USB port on my PC, absolutely no problem, and it plays absolutely fine when it's actually plugged in, even though I still have to use the Bluetooth app. But for some reason, when I then take it off charge and try to use it again wirelessly, it all buggers up and I have to redo all the settings that I've set up on the thing. So I'm sort of getting fed up of doing that. So I bought this, and it's a wired controller, and I'm just going to keep it plugged into the PC, and I know it's automatically going to be recognised. I don't need to use any third-party software. And that's basically it. I don't have an Xbox One. This isn't a teaser. I have no intention of buying an Xbox One. Well, probably ever, really, because I can't think of a single thing that's exclusive to it that I want to play. But, so why not get the official one? You know, the 40 quid official one. Why not get the best controller that, you know, you can? Well, I bought the off-brand one, basically, because it was reduced from £30 to £26, and I thought, do you know what, bollocks, I want a new controller for my PC, and this is it. So, yeah, that was... Well, how much was it? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, $26.99. Actually, that's not a massive reduction, is it? Anyway, it was reduced from 30-something to $26.99, so I thought, oh, sod it, I'll just get it. So, yeah, I've got a new PC controller, which will be handy for playing all the emulators on. Because although I don't film an awful lot of that, because I know a lot of purists aren't interested in emulation. I like it. I use it for most of my older stuff is done on an emulator on the PC, and I want a half decent controller to, you know, that's it. It's done. Got nothing to do with actual console gaming. That's for a PC. Right. What's next? Yes. We'll do the Nintendo stuff now. So, here's a funny one. I have been going around the charity shops in my town on a weekly basis to hunt for games. Unfortunately, they're drying up round here. They really, really are. I haven't got much at all this month that's come out of charity shops. In fact, it's less than 10 things, I think. Which is unusual, but it is getting that way. And I have seen this game. This game was sat in the cabinet of one of my local charity shops, and I have been walking past it, and he had it priced up at £8. And I've been walking past it every week for the last 2 months. And I finally just said to the bloke, I said, look, you've had that game in there 2 months, you got it priced up at £8. I said, at best... You know, that is high eBay. That is high eBay, and that would include the delivery. I said, can you do me a deal on it? He said, you can have it for a £5. I said, fine, I'll take it. Which is the going rate for this game, by the way. A £5 is the going rate for this game. But apparently it's pretty good. So it's Chicken Blaster. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a light gun game for the Nintendo Wii. And for my money, there aren't enough of them on modern consoles. So yeah, there'll be some fun had with that at some point. But that was just a little story to go along with it. I think the story's probably more exciting than the game, but oh well. Right, now, Wii U stuff. Batman Arkham Origins. Now, supposedly, this has all the DLC stuff that was released later for the PlayStation. I'm not sure because I haven't played any of these yet. I haven't got round to it. But what is annoying me is that... Oh, hang on, what's that? Oh, that's a code. Right, okay, so it's got codes in it, so you do actually have to download it. It doesn't come on disc. Disappointing. So yeah, what is annoying me is it's come in a white case. Now, I've bought it second hand, so come to think of it, that code might not even work, but it might, so there you go. We'll try it. I bought it second hand. It cost me... oh, bollocks, I've lost it. Arkham Origins, £5.25. and it's come in a white case. Wii U cases are blue, they're not white. And that has actually really, really annoyed me. Because instead of the usual, Wii U case, I've got this, what is clearly a Wii case. And I don't know if you can buy separate cases. So I might have to go and buy something really cheap on the Wii U and, swap cases. Because that would annoy me, sitting there like, it's in the wrong case. I don't like that at all. Darksiders 2 I've bought because I bought the new whatever it was, Warminster or whatever, the new one. So I thought, well, this was cheap enough. I'll grab it while I'm there. And this was also £5.25. And that's the thing is, had I realised there was this massive rip in the front of the booklet, I might, I might have reconsidered, but I didn't. So, but the actual disc looks like it's never been played. That's obviously because it's been through some sort of bloody, pre-owned program before. So I'm not sure whether I'm actually going to keep this. I think it's too manky, really, and I don't. If it was a sticker on the manual, I could deal with that because I could remove that reasonably simply. But a massive tear in the front page, I don't know if I can live with that. It's not like I'm fastidious or anything. I wouldn't mind if the manual was missing. But the fact that it's there and it's ripped, and I know it's ripped, and it's sitting there being ripped, that annoys me. Rise of the Guardians is one I picked up for the Wii U. This is... right, I don't see how much I paid for that. Yes I do. £6.25 this one. Now, it's a children's game. And usually they're in pretty rubbish nick. But supposedly, there's a big fingerprint on that, but nothing that won't wipe off. No, supposedly this game is getting a bit of a rarity about it. I don't know, because I don't really keep track of it that much, but that's what I've heard, which seems to be the way with a lot of children's games that were released for the Wii U. So, I thought it was a console that was marketed to children, so presumably there'd be loads of children's games on there. But apparently like this, and the Croods, and Hello Kitty, and things like that, are the proper rare titles. It's the more hardcore stuff, like Call of Duty and things like that, that is common as muck on the Wii U, whereas the children's games, who I thought the console was originally aimed at, are not so common. Who knew that? But apparently it's true. Zombie U I've bought. Now, if you saw, I think it was 2 pickups videos ago where I bought Zombie U, you might be surprised to see it in this pickups video. Well, I was very surprised when I went and bought it and then got home to realise that I already had it. Because I didn't think I did have it. I don't know what came over me. For some reason, I just had it in my head, I don't have this game, I need that game. So there you are, I've bought it again. And that was £4.74, this one. So, and that was on eBay. So I've obviously seen it and gone, oh, I need that one. Put a bid on it and then won it. Not realising, of course, that I already have it. So that's the end of the Wii U stuff, and slightly embarrassing for me, I suppose. Right, so the next thing, some more charity shop finds here. This time, all handheld games, and I'm going to keep these two till last. All handheld games. Well, one of them's not really a game, so let's get that out of the way first. Art Academy. Now, I have this on the Wii U. I understand it works exactly the same on the DS. And yeah, that was... how much was that one? Art Academy. That was £1. So, even though it's not a proper game, it does have all the instructions in here. It even has the Club Nintendo card in here, look. So, yeah. Even though Club Nintendo is no more. But yeah, so Art Academy there, and I've got the receipt tucked in, so I keep that for later. So yeah, Art Academy, Nintendo DS. In fact, these are all going to be Nintendo DS games because I don't have any other handhelds. Well, not that I use. In fact, I don't use the DS much, if I'm honest with you. But it is my favourite. So Rabbids Go Home is the other one. That was £2. That one. So again, all the stuff's in here, as you find with DS games for some reason. Even though a lot of the games are marketed at children, they seem to be the best condition sort of children's type games when you do find them. So yeah, popular franchise, but apparently not very good games these days. So Rabbids Go Home, Nintendo DS. Worms Open Warfare, Nintendo DS. Now this case has seen better days. But as usual, all the stuff's here, so brilliant. Big instruction booklet there. And I like the Worms series. I've never played it, the DS version, so I don't know what that's like, but I imagine it's exactly the same. The one thing I do like is it's multiplayer wireless. So, a lot of DS games have got that going for them. You know, the multiplayer, quite often you only need one cartridge, whereas, you know, it's certain other handhelds and things you each need a copy of the game, blah blah blah. It's not very good. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. So yeah, just, you know, everyone knows what this game is because it was multi-format when it came out, but it is in one of these funny style DS cases. You know, and they're always quite good. So yeah. No tarnish or anything on any of the contacts, so that's fine. So Star Wars The Force Unleashed, DS. Now this case has definitely seen better days, and it's got, irritatingly, it's Animaniacs, lights, camera, action, and irritatingly it's got the sticker stuck on underneath the plastic. I don't know why shops do that. It's ridiculous, especially when they're the sort of shops that are constantly discounting things. So that makes it even doubly annoying because, you know, likelihood is that sticker would have only had a valid price on it for about 2 weeks, and then they'd be changing it again. So, you know, whatever. Yeah, and I bought this, came out of a charity shop, and that was too good. Oh, by the way, all these games apart from our Art Academy were £2. They've all come out of charity shops, and they were all, funny enough, £2. Actually, this one, I think, where are we, Animania? Yeah, that was £2 as well. So there you go. Now, again, this is a children's game, and like a lot of DS games, they're children's games, but this one has a big gouge down the front of the manual here, which is irritating because I don't like that. Like I say, I'd rather the manual wasn't here than me know it's sitting there with a big gouge down the front that I can't do anything about. So I don't know what to do with that. I might give it a play, and if it's, you know, if I don't like it, sell it on, or you know, and or find a manual upgrade for it. I don't know if I decide I'm keeping it. So I don't know. I really don't like it when that happens. So that's not exactly what I'd be looking for, but I bought it anyway because, you know, like I say, there's not much. There's slim pickings in the charity shops near me, you know. So you have to sort of buy stuff when you see it. Unless you want to, you know, unless you want a copy of FIFA 11, in which case you can buy 100 of them on my high street here for 20 pence each. Other than that, no, you're stuck. So these are two that I'm going to talk about in the one hit, and because I've never heard of them before. I presume they look like they're from some sort of TV series because they're made by Disney and they're called Spectrobes. And ordinarily, when it comes to DS games, generally, if you've never heard of the franchise, stay away from it, because the game will be crap. But what intrigued me with these ones was that there's this sticker on the thing here that says 4 cards inside. And I thought, oh, what's that about then? So what it is, and I don't get me on how the mechanics of this actually works in the game. I presume you use the DS camera or something to do it. So we've got the usual stuff in here, the instruction books, the Wi-Fi connection book, the little Nintendo manual, and then there's, if I can get them out, there's these four, I can't get them, here we are, there's these four plastic cards, which are different things in the game. I don't know what they're for. I don't know if you can buy expansion decks, but they obviously seem to do different things in the game, and they look like they're trying to sort of knock off Pokemon, really, with these sorts of things. And fair play to them if they want to. But, you know, so obviously I had a quick dip online to make sure that, you know, if it... This one obviously says comes with 4 cards, so the 4 cards are in here. And then the other one, I had a look, and that comes with 4 cards as well, and they're all in here. So there's again, that's I don't know. Yeah, see, it says here Evolve B, so I don't know what that's. I presume it is sort of Disney's version of Pokemon. Yeah, the Tamazoa. What's that one? Armor Cacti, and then HP Seed. So yeah, this is like a sort of Disney Pokemon RPG thing, but I have never heard of it before. Like I say, I can only presume it's from some sort of franchise that hasn't lasted, because presumably I would have, you know, if this was something that was currently going on, presumably there'd still be merchandise about for it and things like that, and I haven't seen any, or at least not prominently, so I can only imagine it's a franchise that no longer exists. So that's Spectrobes and Spectrobes Beyond the Portals there for the DS. So yeah, even if they're not good games, they're at least a little interesting, I suppose. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I talked about in it was one of the first videos I did, actually. It was in the very, very early days, like about 2 years ago now, and I talked about buying a Barcode Battler. For the reason that I knew there was a Barcode Battler interface that was available for the Super Famicom in Japan, and that worked with the Japanese Barcode Battler too, which is the model of Barcode Battler that the Tomy US and UK version is based on. So in theory it should work with that too. Now, when I did that video, after looking online, they were about 60 quid to get one of these things. Admittedly in the box with all the gear, but 60 quid nonetheless. And I thought, I don't want to spend 60 quid on it, because what if it turns up and it doesn't work through an adapter with the Super Nintendo that I've got, or even if it does, maybe it doesn't work with a Tomy Barcode Battler. So I thought, I will wait and I will find one at a reasonable price. Anyway, one popped up on eBay, and it was £12.69. It was from Japan, so that was including shipping. £12.69. No box, just as is, the Barcode Battler interface, and I have waited to this point to even take it out of the bubble wrap, which, had I thought about it, I should have brought some scissors with me, but there we go. I didn't think about it, but there we are, I've got it open now. So this is the BB2 interface. Now, I presume it obviously doesn't have a point for power supply, so this end presumably plugs into your Famicom, your Super Famicom, and this end here plugs into the Barcode Battler 2, as it would be in Japan. But I'm going to try it with my Tomy one at some point, when I can be after finding it. It's in a box somewhere, because I pretty much haven't used it or looked at it since I did that video. So once I find it, I will give this a go and see if anything happens. So there you are, BB2 interface for the Super Famicom that hopefully will work with my Super Nintendo. And of course, because I have the interface now, I had to buy the game. So this is Conveni Wars Barcode Battler Senkai. I had to buy this on eBay as well. This did not come from Japan. This came from a UK seller, and I paid $4.95 including delivery for that. Yeah, so this is the game that was originally packaged with this, but because I bought this separately, I've bought this separately. So all in all, what are we talking then? Say 17 quid as opposed to 60. So I think even if it doesn't work, I can probably resell these. And perhaps not get all my money back, but the vast majority of it. So, but I reckon it's worth a go. And obviously, if it's interesting enough, I'll obviously make a follow-up video then. So keep your eyes peeled for that once I dig out all the stuff that I'm going to need to do it. The last Nintendo item I want to talk about is actually a Game Boy game. And it's Space Invaders. And this is a Super Game Boy Enhanced game. I've spoke about these before. It's got that little symbol there on the cartridge, I don't know if you could see, that tells you it's Super Game Boy Enhanced. And you may be sitting there going, well, big deal, a Game Boy game. That's hardly, that's hardly something to, you're not ending on a high note there. It's a shitty Space Invaders Game Boy game. We all know what Game Boy games are, and we all know about Space Invaders. Yeah, you do. But the important bit is this Super Game Boy Enhanced. Now, I had been looking for this at a reasonable price for quite a while, and you very, very rarely see these, and when you do, they're normally about a tenner. That's if you're unlucky. And I thought I didn't want to spend any more than a fiver on one of these. And I managed to get it for £4.98, would you believe, including delivery on eBay. Now, it is cartridge only. It didn't come in a protective case. It didn't come with a box. Didn't come with instructions. But the interesting thing about this game that a lot of people don't know is, you put it in a Game Boy, you will get what you expect Game Boy Space Invaders to be. You will get the usual Game Boy milky green Space Invaders, basically. But if you put this in a Super Game Boy and you choose the enhanced version of the game, you will get the same game on this cartridge as is on the Space Invaders Super Nintendo cartridge. So this is effectively a Super Nintendo game in a Game Boy cartridge. And I have been and checked. This is the only time this has been done. You put this in a Super Game Boy, you can play the Super Nintendo version of this game. It's actually on the cartridge. And I think that is amazing. And I've known about this for a while, but you never see them. It just didn't sell. I mean, how are you going to sell Space Invaders to a kid in the 90s? Oh, that's old stuff, I don't want that. So the only people that really ended up with this on their Game Boy were people whose nans bought them by accident and things like that. And likelihood is maybe, because Space Invaders isn't exactly what you'd call an addicting game. Maybe by the time they got round to getting a Super Game Boy, they never bothered putting this cartridge in it to see what it was like. But there's actually the Super Nintendo version of Space Invaders hidden on this cartridge in full colour and everything. So amazing, I've now got one of them. And as sought after Game Boy games go, it may not be the most sought after, but it's at least one of the interesting games. It's one of the points of interest in a Game Boy collection, especially if you're a Super Game Boy player as well, which usually I am. If I'm honest with you, I'd rather play something on a Super Game Boy on a telly than play it on the horrible green screen. I don't know how we managed with them things for so long. Right, so that just leaves the last stuff, which is the PlayStation 4 stuff. Now, I've actually got quite a lot to get through because now that I have a PlayStation 4, I feel the need to buy a few more games for it as time's going on. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm going to show you is new stuff. Most of it isn't second-hand. Some of it is, most of it isn't. And a lot of it is limited run stuff. Now, some of it I'm not going to be able to give you a price on because limited run stuff takes a while to get here usually because it's from the States and it normally takes somewhere between 3 and 5 weeks to get here to me for some reason. usually because if you go and check it, it's sat in a customs house in Jersey, and apparently this particular, the particular port, Jersey port, is well known for not being particularly fast anyway. So there you go. So let's just go through some of the PlayStation 4 stuff. Now, Fallout 4. I paid a tenner for this, brand new. And it's still in shrink wrap because I haven't got round to playing it. But this was actually a private sale. I didn't buy this in a shop because I didn't know. Although I did know. I knew that it was only a tenner in the shop, and a friend of mine wanted to get rid of it. So I just offered him a tenner in cash for it. And then the next day I checked in the shops and it had actually gone down to £8. So yeah. I lost £2 in a day buying this when I could have just waited till the next day and bought it. But hey ho, that he didn't want the game and he needed a tenner. So there you go, Fallout 4. I didn't really have much interest in buying this because I didn't really get on with Fallout 3. But ho hum, no crying over spilt milk. No, this is another one. In fact, a couple of these are going to be off my wish list. Stuff that I actually wanted. Zombie Vikings Ragnarok Edition. That cost me... I've lost it. Yes. £8.41. And again, because it's a PlayStation 4 game, there's no proper instruction manual. You just get the disc. But supposedly this is pretty good. It's... I don't even know really what to compare it to. But part zombie, part Viking, all co-op action. So yeah, it's 1 to 4 players apparently. So, I don't know. Who makes that? Rising Star Games. So, a bit of an indie title perhaps. I'm not sure. Then I've got... this is a limited run one. Rive. So I haven't played any of these, so I couldn't tell you. So, yeah. So there's the disc. There's the card. You don't get a sticker anymore. You get like this little collectible card thing now. That's with a number 12 on it. That one. I don't know why, because it's number 39 in the series. But yeah. So that's what you get now. You get the postcard. Oh, you get the postcard, you get the little card, and then you get the little redeemable thing, which I'll probably never be able to redeem. So that's Rive, limited run. Bard's Gold, another limited run game. And again, same thing. You get little card, little instruction book, which isn't even an instruction book on most of them now. It's just like a little piece of paper that's been folded in half. Frankly, I don't know why they bother. If you're not going to do an actual manual, don't do a manual. I don't see the point. There you go. They think they somehow believe it adds value, even though it isn't a manual. Fury. Is it Fury? It is called Fury, isn't it? I think it's called Fury anyway. Fury Definitive Edition. So this one includes Fury and its DLC on the disc, which I like. Again, I haven't played any of these, so I can't tell you anything about it. But there you go, another limited run one. Another limited run one, and this is a not for resale version with I can't remember which one. This had like a limited cover or something like that. I can't find it. Oh, that's probably one that I bought. That's probably one from last month. So yeah, with a limited cover, apparently this one. I don't know how limited, but there you go. But it doesn't have. Oh no, I don't think this is the one with the limited. I think this is the one that they were just distributing. This is one that Limited Run did that they didn't actually publish. They were just distributing it. That's why it's not part of the set. So this is another one off my wish list. Zenith, and this apparently includes the extended manual and poster. But when I opened mine, it did not include the poster. It did have the manual, but it did not include the poster. So this is a Badland game, Badland Games release, and I like. Well, the thing is, I call Badland Games an indie studio, but they're sort of not now because indie studios tend to have not budget price exactly, but the games tend to be about the 20-30 quid mark, whereas Badland Games, a lot of their new releases are quite pricey. So I wouldn't really class them as an indie studio. I would just class them as a studio now. Now, Zenith I got for £8.41. Yeah. So one I picked up for £8.42. Super Meat Boy. This case has seen better days, by the way. And there is no manual, but I can't imagine there ever was a manual for this one. But yeah, quite happy to have that one. I've always liked the look of it, but I've never played it because I'm not a massive fan of download-only games. But then I saw this, and it was on physical release, and I thought, well, I've got to have it really then at that price. But like I say, this case has seen better days. Luckily, with the PlayStation 4, it's just a Blu-ray case, so I can use any case for that. It doesn't matter, because that's all it is a Blu-ray case. Another Badland Games release here, Heart and Slash, and this is another one that supposedly includes the extended manual and a soundtrack CD. Well, I've got the manual, no soundtrack CD. So what I have to do, see, when I'm buying games, I have to be more aware of what should come with them, and then when I check them and it doesn't come with them, I should not buy it. But there you are. So I have to find the soundtrack CD for this, and to be honest, the case has seen better days on this one as well. So that probably could do with a recase at some point. This is another Badland Games one, funnily enough. Dex. And another thing I didn't notice, but this is the Spanish version. So I'm hoping the game isn't in Spanish. But this one did actually come with the soundtrack in the case. So quite pleased with that. So I've got a manual, I've got a soundtrack. Although the game cover art here is in Spanish, but the soundtrack CD is all in English, so I don't really know what's happened here, unless they've had two of them in the shop and for some reason have just put one in the wrong box. I don't know, haven't got a clue, couldn't even think. So what's this one? Oh, this is another Badland Games. How have I managed that? There you go. It just so happens that the cheapest ones off my wish list were Badland Games. So again, this one's dead synchronicity. Tomorrow comes today. And whoop, hello, jumping out of the thing. So yeah, this is a. Oh, hello. This case is actually broken, I think. Huh. Well, there you go. Yeah, so that doesn't sit in the case. I hope it's the case that's broken and not the disc. No, it is the case. The case is actually broken, so that won't sit in there properly. But again, this is another one that did come with the soundtrack, and the poster, and the manual, and all the stuff it's meant to. I think this is the only second-hand Badland Games one that I've bought that actually came with everything it's supposed to in the box. So that was good. Right, so these two have just arrived today, funnily enough, and that is Plague Road. These are limited runs ones, Plague Road and Ocean Horn. And I've unwrapped them, but as usual with all of these, I can't tell you what they're like because I haven't played them. Now, the thing with limited run stuff is it's expensive to buy. Relatively, because I like to buy second-hand games. I don't really like to buy new games because they tend to be, well, they cost me more money. That's why I don't like to buy them. But the way I justify it with limited run stuff is that the likelihood is I will be able to make, if I don't like them, I will be able to at least get my money back. That's how I sort of justify it to myself. And the same with the Badlands stuff as well. Now, AAA games and things like that, if I want them on my wish list, I will wait until they're a fiver. So, for instance, I haven't bought Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, because I don't want to pay 60 quid for it. Or 50 quid, or whatever it is. I will wait till I find it a tenner. And there's enough of them about that is going to happen at some point. So I will just buy it then. But the trouble with the limited run stuff and the Badlands stuff, if you don't buy it when you see it, you might never see it again. So I'm always confident when but I always think, well, some of them are quite a lot of money and I don't really want to spend that kind of money. But then I justify it by saying, well, if I don't like it and I then sell it on, I'm pretty confident I will get my money back. Whereas if I bought, there's no chance I wouldn't like, but if I went out and bought a AAA game for the PlayStation 4, like a 40, 50 quid game that came out this week for the PlayStation 4, and if I then didn't like it, well, I might be lucky to get 20 quid back for it. You know, even if I sold it that week, I might be lucky to get 20 quid back for it, for some things. So that's sort of how I justify certainly spending the price on the indie games, is because you might never see them again. So, another limited run game I want to talk about is Broken Age. Now, this one, I think this is another one from last month. It looks like it might be. So I can't give you a price for this one, unfortunately. But the only difference with this one is it comes in a little cardboard slipcase. It's the usual stuff inside. And in fact, this does come with a sticker rather than a little collectible card, so it might be one of the last ones that comes with a sticker. So yeah, that's Broken Age there. And again, I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know anything about it, but it is made by Tim Schafer. So if you've played Full Throttle or The Dig, I think was one of his. Was Monkey Island Tim Schafer? I don't know, but certainly Full Throttle was. And in fact, I seem to think there's a PlayStation 3 game that's all heavy metal based with Jack Black in it. I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me. But if you've seen it, it's got Jack Black in it and it's all heavy metal references all the way through the game. And that's Tim Schafer as well. So Tim Schafer is one of these people. I mean, apparently the bloke is a bit of a tosspot, but he knows how to design a game. He's not like a Peter Molyneux figure where he just sort of stands on what he done 25 years ago. He's still designing half-decent games, apparently. Now, here's one by a company you don't hear very often, and their stuff does usually end up on the rare side of things, and that is Big Ben Publishing. This is a game called Too Dark. This is the limited edition version, and this cost me, I bought this new actually, $19.99 new. Now, the standard version was $19.99 new. And it was sat next to this, which is the limited edition version, which is $19.99 new. And this is pretty good. I mean, it's Steelbook. Pretty much everything is Steelbook now. Every game has a Steelbook release, but oh well. It's still more limited than not limited. So there are 2 discs in here. One of them is let me just get this out of the way. So you've got your little cards with bits and pieces on them that tell you all the information that's in the Steelbook. I've got my receipt here as well because I keep them. And you've got a CD soundtrack and the game in here. Now, I don't know really what this game is about, but when I saw it was Big Ben Publishing, I thought, well, I've got to get it because, again, how I justify that is, okay, it's only 20 quid. but you might never see it again, because Big Ben is another one of those sorts of companies where, you know, stuff just seems to disappear off store shelves and you never see it. And it's got this art book here, which is full of art, really, isn't it? So there's all stuff here, which is like a little comic and stuff to do with the game and bits of art. And oh, actually, this game looks like it might be pretty gruesome. So yeah, from the creator of Alone in the Dark. So yeah, okay then. So that tells us probably what we need to know. And with that, that's this video ended. So there's not loads of stuff. There's still stuff that's due to arrive. So I've got how many? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 9 limited run games that are still to arrive, that have been bought in the last couple of months. In fact, 10, because I'm still waiting on one that I pre-ordered last year. So I've still got 10 limited run games due to arrive. Hopefully all of those and some more stuff will be here next time I do a pickups video. So I can show them as well. But other than that, that's it. I've done the bit at the beginning. I've done the preamble, the housekeeping. I've done the pickups. I don't know what the next video on the channel is going to be after this, because I haven't decided. I've got some stuff recorded and some stuff not recorded, and I haven't really decided in which order it's going to go up. But I know there's definitely one going up on the 29th of September, so stay tuned for that. You may find it interesting. You may find it the sort of thing that your ears can't bear to hear. But there's one. And if you know what's happening on the 29th of September, you might be able to guess what the video might be about. So, yeah. But I other than that, I'm not sure what order things are going to be uploaded in, stuff I've already done and stuff I plan to do. So, just keep them peeled. And what I'm going to do now is do the end card bit. Yeah. Comments are always welcome. Twitter things there. Some videos have popped up here that you might like the look of. So feel free to click on them. And there's a little subscribe button here. And do subscribe and thumbs up and all that jazz, because it does actually help. I know everyone says that, but it really does. So I have been the Pickled Onion Knight, and I will see you in another video.